Assalamu alaikum students, I am back with another video about climate of Pakistan. But before I start, I would request you to please subscribe my channel, like and share the videos. Now, in climate of Pakistan, first of all we have to understand that what is the difference between weather and climate. So weather refers to the atmospheric conditions like temperature, rainfall, humidity, air pressure, direction of winds of any place for a short period of time, usually consists of one day, and it is often localized. Whereas climate refers to the average weather conditions of the same things like temperature, rainfall, humidity, air pressure of a place for a long period of time, usually consists of 30 years. For example, if we take example of a weather, like if it's a sunny day in Lahore today, so we would say it's a sunny day, or it can be a cloudy day. It means it's a weather of Lahore. But climate means that we know that in June or July there is a summer month in Lahore, because we know it from the past record of 30 to 50 or 80 years. Then Pakistan can be divided into different climatic zones according to its topographical features, and the zones are highland climatic zone, lowland climatic zone, which is also called semi-arid zone. Then we have coastal climate, which is also called a humid zone, and we have arid climatic zone. And I am going to elaborate all these zones in detail in the later slides. First of all, let me show you on the map that where are these zones. You can see the blue color, it's a highland climatic zone. In yellow color, it's a lowland climatic zone. The brown color depicts the arid climatic zone, and the red one is the humid or coastal climatic zone. Now, first of all, let's see the highland climatic zone. So in this kind of zone, it is actually indicates the highland climatic or climate of Pakistan, and it includes the areas of northern and northwestern and western mountains. The winters are long, cold and snowy over here, and the summers are short and mild. Precipitation is mostly in the form of snowfall. Gilgit, Chitral and Quetta valleys are the rain shadow areas. Rainfall on the windward slope is happened there. North of Waziristan and Ghat are the rain sources of the primary monsoon. Primary monsoon and western depression are the main sources. So the temperature rise from north to south. Summers are wet, short and mild towards the north, and dry and warm in western mountains. Sub-freezing temperatures are experienced in extreme north due to greater distance and from the heat reflected from the land surface. So this is basically your highland climatic zone. Now, if we talk about the lowland climatic zone, which prevail over the whole of the Indus plain except the delta region of the coast, arid to semi-arid climate is experienced. Continental climate with greater temperature difference between summer and winters. There are very hot to hot summers and cool winters, not cold winters. And upper Indus plains, which is northern Punjab, receives monsoon, western depressions and thunderstorm rainfall. And southern Punjab and lower Sindh receive mainly secondary monsoon with very little rain from other sources. Rainfall decreases and temperature rises from north to south. And what are primary and secondary monsoon seasons? I'm going to tell you later on in the same slides. Now, if we talk about the coastal climate, it includes the Indus Deltic Plain, Karachi coast and Makran coast areas. Sea breezes and maritime influence means the oceanic influence keeps the daily and seasonal temperature difference very low. Different rates of cooling and heating water of Arabian Sea and coastal land enable sea to exert moderating effect on the coastal climate. Secondary monsoon on the Indus Delta coast gives showers of rainfall, and western depression on Makran coast bring rain. High rate of humidity is experienced over there, and mean monthly temperature is 32 Celsius degree. May, June and October are the hottest months. October to November they may experience dry dust storms as well. Now if we talk about the arid zone, it includes the southeastern desert, the Thar desert and the southwestern Kharan desert part of Balochistan. So they are hot and dry most of the year. Hot, dry and long summers are experienced, and there are very mild and short winters. Secondary monsoon in the Thar desert is experienced, and sometimes it gets in Kharan desert it gets rain from the western depressions. Otherwise hot and dry winds prevail throughout the summers. Then we have different seasons in Pakistan. Like Pakistan has 4 seasons: winter, which happens from December to March. Then we have summers, and summers can be divided into two main components, like early summer, April to June, and late summer from July to September. Then we have post monsoon, October to November. Now let's discuss the elements of climate. There are 4 main climatic elements like air pressure, winds, temperature and rainfall. These are responsible for regional and seasonal variation in the climate of Pakistan. First of all, let's discuss the air pressure. As air is a mixture of gases and these gases have certain weight, the air has weight too. So the weight of air possesses down on the earth, and this is called the atmospheric pressure. It is measured by a barometer in a millibar, MB, and air pressure and temperature run opposite side. Then we have winds. A current of air moving with speed in any direction but generally assumed to be parallel to the earth's surface is called a wind. The speed of wind is measured by an instrument called anemometer, and for wind direction a wind rose is used. Wind always blow from high pressure to low pressure. It's a natural principle. So during summer season, the temperature in the central Pakistan is high, causing the hot air to rise up and to form a low pressure zone. At the same time, oceans and seas have comparatively low temperature. This is because water absorbs and discharges heat slowly as compared to the land. So the air pressure over the oceans and seas is higher than over the land during summer. So this leads to the movement of the winds from sea to land and is called sea breeze. During winter season, the whole situation is reversed because the pressure over the land gradually increases and the high pressure area is created in the northwestern of Pakistan. So then the winds move from land to sea, and that is called land breeze. Now if we talk about the temperature, the degree of heat of a body usually expressed in degrees on the centigrade or Fahrenheit scale and measured by a thermometer. Temperature decreases in general from the equator towards the poles, and the temperature decreases with altitude as well. Then if we talk about the rainfall, we see that the amount of water which is coming to earth in the form of rain is called rainfall, and it is also it depends on the humid level of that area, aridity of that area. It also depends on the altitude of that area where the rainfall is experienced. Then we have temperature key, like 40 Celsius and above is considered very hot, 31 to 39 hot, then warm, mild, cool, cold, and below -5 Celsius degrees is considered very low. One of the most important topics of this climate chapter is the factors affecting the temperature of Pakistan. Like what factors actually affects the temperature of our country. Number one is latitudinal effect. Pakistan is not very far away from the equator. As you can see over here, this is equator and this is Pakistan. So Pakistan receives direct sun rays due to its subtropical location just north of the Tropic of Cancer. So south to north temperature decreases with the angle of the sun due to the change of latitude. Seasonal summer-winter temperature differences also due to the change in the angle of the sun. During summer, the northern hemisphere of the sun is tilted towards the sun and so absorbs more heat. And Pakistan is a northern hemisphere, so high summer temperatures are experienced. In simple words, I would tell you that the areas which are far away from the equator would experience less heat, and the areas which are near to the equator would experience more heat. Then the second one is the continental effect. Continental effect is very simple, that climate of those areas unaffected by maritime influence and extreme winter and summer temperatures on the land and moderate temperature on coastal areas. Like we know that in the daytime the continents, the land of the continents gets warm, gets hot very quickly, and it releases the heat very quickly as well in the evening or at night. But the seas, they get they absorb the heat on a very slow pace during the day. That is why near the sea, near the ocean, there is a cool breeze moving on, and at night the water bodies, they release the heat on a very slow pace. Because of this, the continents are comparatively cooler than the coastal areas in the night. Then we have altitude and temperature. So we know that whenever we go on a height, the temperature decreases, and an average drop of 6.5 Celsius degree temperature for every 1000-meter increase in height is recorded almost. It can be more, but at least after 1000 meters, 6.5 Celsius degrees in temperature would be decreased. Then we have cloud cover and temperature. Clouds reflect solar radiation at daytime, causing low temperatures, and at night, if the cloud trap the area, then the outgoing heat resulting in lesser drop in temperature as compared to clear sky on that clear day. For example, if there is a presence of clouds in the day, the temperature will be low. But if at night also there are the presence of clouds, then the heat would be trapped in between because it is releasing at night. So it will be trapped and there will be more humid temperature. But if there is no clouds, there will be direct sunlight during the day, and there will be direct release of the sunlight during the night. Now the last one is the latitude and the angle of the sun. Angle of the sun refers to the position of the earth in relation to the sun. Sun rays do not fall at the same angle everywhere on the earth's surface. Latitudinal position determines the amount of heat received by the earth direct rays on the equator. Like those areas which are near to the sun will experience more heat as compared to those areas which are far away from the sun. So these were the main factors that affect the temperature of Pakistan. Now, if we talk about the rainfall, these are the separate water drops which fall to the earth from the clouds formed by the condensation of water vapors in the atmosphere, and it is called rain. So it is again a very important question, that what are the sources of rainfall in Pakistan? We have basically the following sources, like monsoon winds, western depressions, convectional currents and thunderstorms, relief rainfall and cyclones. So we will see all these one by one. Let's discuss the monsoon winds first. The word monsoon is derived from the Arabic word mosim, means season, and it means these are seasonal winds which blow during summer and winter. And Pakistan relieves the tail end of the monsoon winds which enters the country after crossing all over the northern India, and they usually reach Pakistan in early July and sometimes continue to early September. Most of rainfall which takes place by this source. These winds come from east side of Bay of Bengal, and heavy rain occur in northern areas of Pakistan, for example Murree, Islamabad. and so the amount of rain decreases towards south because most of the moisture is robbed during a long journey. As you can see over here that Bay of Bengal, it's a primary source of monsoon winds, and it comes to Pakistan, uh, covering over all the north of India. Then this system is called primary monsoon system. When the monsoon winds come from the Arabian Sea and heavy rain occurred in Karachi, and its adjacent areas by this source, and then this system is called secondary monsoon system. So all the clouds which are coming from the Arabian Sea, that brings shower to the southern parts of Pakistan, and that is the secondary source. The primary source of monsoon winds is Bay of Bengal, and the secondary source of monsoon winds is Arabian Sea. Then we have western depressions. Now, western depressions are basically cyclones originate from Mediterranean Sea by the start of winters, and they travel over dry parts of Afghanistan and Iran. Most of the moisture is lost during the long journey, and winds enter Pakistan's northwestern and western parts. Moderate rain in north and northwestern and western parts of Pakistan. You can see over here from Mediterranean Sea it comes to Pakistan. And upper Indus Plain also receives some rain from this source. Main areas are northern mountains, KPK, Balochistan, Makran coast, and many parts of upper Indus Plain. This water and these winter depression rains are very important for the rabi crops. They also reduce pollution and fill our reservoirs in winters. And disadvantages, if we talk about the disadvantages of winter rainfall, if the precipitation is in the form of snowfall, there will be landslides and blockage of roads. And sometimes heavy snowfall forces people to stay indoors. Now, the next source is the convectional rainfall, and we knew about the convectional rainfall. This is a basic rainfall cycle which we knew since the childhood, that at the start of the summer hot air rises up, which also contains a high amount of moisture content. When it reaches a higher level of the atmosphere, condensation takes place. This causes rainfall often as thunderstorms, because if there is a dust particle in the clouds, then there will be a lot of thunderstorms as well. And only the northern and northwestern areas of Pakistan receives the rainfall, this kind of rainfall, because the southern Pakistan is deprived of convectional rainfall due to the temperature inversion layer. Now, what are the factors for the development of rain by convection currents and thunderstorms? There is strong heating of land during the summers, low pressure is created, rising warm air, and space created upward in the atmosphere, and wind blows from high pressure to low pressure. There is moisture evaporated from rivers and lakes, so air cooled, and as it rises, condensation takes place, and there are clouds are made, and strong winds blows, and lightning and thundering occurs, and then eventually the rainfall begin. Now, the next one is the relief rainfall. Relief rainfall is related to the height of the land. It occurs where moist, unstable air moves up a mountain or a scarp edge, and it is chilled. Like over here you can see in the picture that the wind is going upward. When it goes upward, it condenses, and when it condenses, it doesn't have enough moisture content, so it makes small clouds. And this it's very chilled as well, so this chilling causes heavy condensation and precipitation on the windward side. The leeward slopes tend to receive sinking warming air, and a dry rain shadow area may light at the leeward side. So on the windward side only the showers will take place, and the leeward side of the area would be the rain shadow area. You can see this phenomena in the Galyat regions during the summers. Then we have tropical cyclones. When the wind is spirally moving in towards the low pressure zone is called cyclone. A tropical cyclone is a severe storm which takes place largely in the South Asia, Southeast Asia, some parts of Australia, America, and southeastern part of North America. But in South Asia, it is referred to as a cyclone, and the cyclones in Pakistan originate in the Arabian Sea mostly, and very often they die out before reaching the coast, and once in every maybe 5 years or 4 years it hits the coastal areas of Pakistan and creates some kind of destructions. So these were the sources of the rainfall. Now we'll talk about the effects of climate on the life and economy in different zones. What are the effects of climate on the life and economy of the people living in those zones? Number one, let's discuss the highland zone. There are sub-freezing winter temperature which restricts many economic activities. Snow covers grass, agricultural farms, rivers and lakes get frozen. So people have to stay indoor and they have to do the cottage industry work like busy in carpet weaving, pottery and clay work. Many herdsmen migrate seasonally, like transhumancy is practiced. Limited development and jobs due to rugged topography and harsh winters is experienced. Increased in economic activity and population density in southward and westward areas. People move there in winters. And lesser water supplies is also experienced, and people mostly experience nomadic and semi-nomadic way of life. Then we have arid zone. There is very low rainfall in arid zone. Hot to very hot summers and mild to cool winters is experienced. Nomadic tribes like Pathan, Balochis and Brahvis keep migrating from one place to another in search of food and water. There are some settled communities as well. And Kharez is practiced in the oases and in those areas where there are settled people. Many desert areas in Punjab and Sindh have been reclaimed by the perennial canals. However, this problem still existed. Inhabitants of desert make arrangements to fight hot, stormy winds like thick, rough clothes and turbans. Now, if we talk about lowland zone, they are mainly in Sindh and Punjab. Monsoon rain supports kharif summer crops like rice, cotton and sugarcane. Both provinces economically most productive due to flat land and monsoon rain. Rain from the Western Depression are good for the rabi crops and other crops like pulses, vegetable grown on large scale. Most of major cities in Punjab and Sindh, availability of the flat land with tolerable continental climate result in high population density, like there is a very high population density in the lowland zones, and there are all sorts of economic activities experienced the whole year. So because there are cool winters, there are hot summers, so everything is open in both the seasons. Now if we talk about the coastal zone, maritime and coastal climate supports various economic activities, especially trade and industrial activities throughout the year. November to February, tourists are attracted to Karachi as well, and several large-scale industries are over there near Karachi. And in Karachi, fishing industry has a developed industry over there. Karachi is well connected with other cities. Tropical cyclones create difficulties for fishing community, but for some days in the year. Low rainfall on both of the coast, but creates more problems in Makran coast areas because drinking water is supplied from the reservoirs, and moderate climate is helping factor in the development of the Gwadar project. So moderate temperatures are always good for the economical activities. Now, if we talk about the storm means a very bad weather with a strong wind, precipitation, and sometimes with lightning and thundering. Now, dust storms actually refers with in a dense masses of dust which are carried by the winds, and dust storms are most common in Sindh and particularly in the desert areas. and they are also experienced in summer season during in May and June because there is an absence of moisture at all. Now, floods are the excessive water in rivers which flow the banks over the banks and or not called the flood. If it is not overflow the bank, it is not called flood. Flash flood means that the sudden flood which disappears quickly is called flash flood. Now, if we talk about the causes of flood, there are mainly two causes, human causes and natural causes. Natural causes are the melting of snow and the heavy rain by the monsoon, and the human causes are the cutting of trees on the foothills. It increases the surface runoff, weak embankments around the rivers, and less storage capacity of the dams causes the floods. What are the advantages of the floods? Yes, there are some advantages, like floods return nutrients to the land, it refreshes the streams, it's because the siltation layers move further a step away, and floods spread a layer of alluvium which increases the fertility of the land, store maximum water in dams, rise water level in the rivers, and even the water table underground, promotes inland fishing industries. What are the effects of flood and problems? And destruction of crops is there, loss of food supply, mud houses and huts could be severely damaged. There is a danger of diseases. It interrupts communication like roads and railways. It can kill livestock. There would be little or no supply of raw material to the industries, which would hinder the production of industries. So it can destroy bridges, it can interrupt services, utilities and electricity supplies. So these are the destructions. Now, what are the measures to reduce the flood risk? We can plant more trees on the foothills to check the flow of the running water, enlarging the water channel so that it can hold more water, building embankments on the river sides, building reservoirs on the river to store more water, preventing building in areas where flooding is most likely, like in active floodplain areas, publicizing flood warnings through radio, television and newspapers, providing necessary facilities for rehabilitation in flooded areas can be done. Now, if we talk about drought is extreme dryness due to lack of rain. It is almost found in desert areas like Cholistan and Tharparkar. There are some causes of droughts, natural causes and human causes. Natural factors are unreliability of monsoon, and dry and hot, dusty winds can reduce the moisture content. But there are some human factors. Deforestation, unfair distribution of water between Punjab and Sindh province. There is overgrazing of land by goats and sheep, and overall global warming is one of the causes of drought. There are some different types of droughts. Number one is permanent drought, which means that serious shortage of rain to an extent that crop cultivation is not possible without irrigation, like Thar and Cholistan or Haran deserts. Seasonal droughts are referred as well-defined rainy season areas with good amount of rain, and dry seasons, like it's a well-drained area, but in some season there was no rain, so it would call a seasonal drought. Then invisible droughts, that water deficiency was not serious enough for crop cultivation through crop yield is reduced. Like water deficiency is not very significant, but still the crop cultivation is reduced, and if the reason is water, then we can call it invisible drought. Then unpredictable drought. Unpredictable drought basically happens when there may be unpredictable or abnormally low rainfall in the humid areas, and when it happens we call it an unpredictable drought. Now, these are the areas in brown color which you can see that has severe drought areas, and the moderate drought areas are in the mustard color. Now, if we talk about the effects of drought on the physical environment, we can see that desertification is one of the issues of the physical environment. That the process of desertification is the process of turning the land into a desert, exposed soil leading to soil erosion and extension of desert areas, rise in temperature, and there will be loss of vegetation, drying up rivers and lakes. There will be drop in water table. Now, effects of drought on human environment would be that population, it would be affecting population because there will be widespread famine, migration from the affected areas by the people. There will be health problems to the people. They can lose their lives, and there will be breakup of rural social setup, and nomadic life would be experienced a lot. Then on the economy, the drought has also drastic effects, like there will be crop failures, there will be death of livestock, there will be shortage of raw materials, etc. Now, if we talk about the strategies to reduce the negative impacts of drought, we should make people settled in the temporary refugee camps, especially the sick ones. We should supply the food by charities and international relief agencies. We should make the water storage schemes, construction of small dams and tanks. Irrigation canals should be made for the crops and planting of trees. Use of new technological methods should be used, like reclamation of land and desalination of the sea water, and lining of the canals is very important to control the water wastage. Now, drought management schemes are the water storage schemes. They can use the modern technology, and planning and management of the water resources is very important. So these are the ways or schemes from which we can refrain the droughts in future. So I hope that this chapter is clear to you. It's a very important and lengthy chapter of O-level syllabus. So I hope the main points of this chapter are clear to you, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.